Hey, gun people! Oh my god, this case is just freaking crazy. This is the chief, Uvalde School District Police with 4 stars, has 4 or 5 officers. He's defending himself of the day of the shooting and explaining how he was a hero. So let's get down to his breakthrough, because I was laughing so much after a few paragraphs, I said I better start this or I'll have to read this again. Hang on. Okay, so this is a pretty long article, and like I said, I haven't read it all. So let's try to get through this. Okay. And look, if this guy, a couple things he said that I read, it could have happened. So, I don't want to make this guy out for something he's not. I just want the truth. And government is so incompetent and so busy lying and so busy pointing the finger at everyone else at this complete and utter failure. If they keep pointing a finger, then nobody's held accountable. He was on scene. He was the chief. He wanted to wear the stars. He wanted to take the money. You know what? When he goes to shit, the buck's got to stop somewhere. But anyway, here we go. Once a locked classroom door stood between Pete, we'll just call him Pete, that's the chief. Pete the Peterless. Pete, well, maybe he's not the Peterless. Maybe he's a hero. Let's see what it says. A chance to bring down the gunman. It was a sturdy built with a steel jam, impossible to kick. Okay, I want one of those doors. Somebody needs to go into business and make these school doors that cops can't kick in, that's really tough. And I'll order one for my front and rear door of my house right now. I want one of these doors. Now, look, any door that opens outward instead of inward is harder to kick in. Okay, if it opens inward, you're not pushing against the jam. If you have a steel door jam and you're kicking inward, it's pretty difficult to kick a door in. Normally, you have to pry it forward instead of kick it in. But you're the school chief for the school district. You've had training. You don't think that not one officer or one chief or one competent government employee says, hey, how do we get in this door if the bad guy gets in it and locks it? You can't tell me that wasn't discussed or asked. I know I got some stupid ass people running around the freaking world, and there's even more stupid people in government, but nobody asked, what happens if a shooter gets in this door? How do we get in the door? Maybe have a key, maybe have a master key, maybe when you respond to active shooters, you have a bar to open doors, maybe have a bar up in a roof where the kids can't get it to where an adult has to reach it. If you put a bar on a door, I guess that wouldn't be good, because then the shooter could use it to get in. But anyway, look, there's going to be problems. Again, it's impossible to protect crazy. All right. He wanted a key. One damn key. He could get through the door to the kids and the teacher. The killer was armed. Arredondo, Pete, thought he could shoot the gunman himself, at least draw fire while other officers shot back. Without body armor, he assumed he might die. Man, this story just changed like 180. We went from a guy waiting for an hour and 77 minutes, an hour and 17 minutes, whatever the damn count changes every day, to now he's a hero and he wanted to run in and die. Holy cow. I wonder if he was on the entry team. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The SWAT made the entry team. He didn't want to die once SWAT got there. All right. The only thing that was important to me at this time was to save as many teachers as possible. Well, it may be important to you, but you utterly failed, okay? And I don't know what your plan was, and I don't know what steps you took. Maybe we'll find out, but whatever it was, it failed, because all the kids died, or most of them, and teachers. The chief of police at the school district spent more than an hour in the hallway. Yeah, we know that. We got that part right. He called for tactical gear, a sniper, and keys to get inside. How did he call if he didn't have his radio? I've heard that he didn't have a radio. Now all of a sudden he's calling. How's he calling? Maybe he's communicating with other officers, having them call. Maybe that's how he could have got information that kids were in there getting shot and killed. Because earlier he said he didn't know that there were live kids in there. We had earlier information from this chief that he did not know there were live people. That's why he thought it was a hostage. Now, we're saying he's a hero and he wanted to go in and kick the door, guns blazing. When keys arrived, because nobody had a key, I guess, he tried dozens. Dozens? Like 3 dozen? Like 36 keys? One by one, they failed to work. Wow, the keys weren't labeled. Wow. Somebody brings out 30, 40, 50 keys. None of them are labeled. Nobody knows what key. I bet you if a cop lost his donut in there, I bet you if a cop was inside saying, I need assistant, officer safety, officer down, they would have figured out a way to get in. Each time I tried a key, I was just praying. Well, that helped. 77 minutes after the massacre began, officers were able to unlock the door and fatally shoot. Oh, here's the hero. He was praying, and then they shot the guy. Man, this looks like a narrative for freaking let's try to save this guy's career. In the first extended comments since the 24, the deadliest shooting, blah, 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 Texas June account, he answered questions via phone interview in a statement provided by his lawyer. Okay, so he got to write a statement that his lawyer approved without admitting guilt, without leaving things vague, using words that are unclear that can be later misinterpreted, or that's not what we meant. Let's see. Aside from Texas Department of Public Service, which did not respond to our request for comment. Ooh. So now the DPS isn't responding. The plot thickens. Government turning on government. One chief calling the other chief a liar. The Department of Public Safety chief calling this chief a liar. Who's the bigger liar? When will we know? Stay tuned next week for upcoming developments. Only law enforcement official publicly tell his account. Ardano, 50, insists he took steps he thought would best protect. Well, he may have took steps, but that was bullshit. He didn't follow the training. He didn't get in. He didn't save any children. I don't really care about what he feels and what he thought. My mind was to get in there as fast as possible. And, okay, well, you accomplished that. Because as fast as possible for you is 77 minutes and 19 kids later. Good job. Eliminate the threats and protect the students. Wow, isn't this a canned statement? Get in there as fast as possible. Eliminate any threats and protect the students and staff. Protect the public to protect and serve. That's what I wanted to do. Bum, 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 Donald said. He noted that some 500 students from the school were safely evacuated. Oh, so now he's taking credit for getting the other students out while letting the 19 die in a room. Wow. We saw kids climbing through windows on their own. No cop was in there handing them out. They were climbing out. And now the police, the government. Look at us. Yeah, 19 students died. Sure, a couple teachers. But we got 500 students out. Well, they were able to run out. And we helped them. Unfreaking believable. The spin in this thing is just crazy. Pete's decisions, like those of other law enforcement agencies that respond to massacres that left 21 dead, are under intense scrutiny as federal and state officials try to decide what went wrong. Yeah, they're trying to decide how they can say what went wrong without showing their incompetence. That's what they're trying to do. Whether the inability of police to quickly enter the classroom prevented 2119 from getting life-saving care is not known and may never be. There's evidence, including the fact that the teacher died while being transported to the so they were trying to get him to the hospital, so they didn't fail that bad. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't like the teacher bled out in there. She died on the way to the hospital. Good job, man. You talk about trying to capitalize on some freaking failure. That suggests taking down the shooter faster might have made a difference. On the other hand, many of the victims likely died instantly. Oh, sure. A pediatrician who attended to the victims described small bodies pulverized and decapitated. Yeah, I'm sure this pediatrician was a left-wing liberal. Some children were identified only by their clothes and shoes. Yeah, well, ask those 19 officers with their ARs out in the hallway. How come they couldn't pulverize the door? How come nobody could shoot a lock? How come nobody could shoot a window? There's windows that kids are climbing out of, but no officer could climb into or shoot through. Well, we can't ask that, Rick. Okay. Let's see. It was a melee, ganglish, outrage, second guessing immediately followed, American history, yeah, blah, 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 blame the gun, blame the magazine. At the head of the 6-member police force for keeping Uvalde School safe, which is ultimate failure, Arradondo has been singled out for much of the blame. Oh, he's the victim. I'm waiting for the race card. Let's see if it gets played. I'm waiting. Practically by state officials. They criticize him for failing to take control of police response and said he made wrong decisions that delayed officers. Okay. Arradondo is facing death threats. Well, so what? Those kids are dead. What's worse, him facing death threats or him letting 19 kids dead who don't get to have death threats? News crews on the campus outside his home, forcing him to go into hiding. He's been called a coward and incompetent. Yeah, I've done that. It's my fault. It's my fault. Blame me. Neither accusations are true or fair, he says. Well, of course he says that. Not a single responding officer ever hesitated, even for a moment, to put themselves at risk. Nobody got in a room? You can't tell me that those doors were so... And another thing, if the doors were so damn secure, how did the guy get in? If the teachers heard the shots, if the teacher who supposedly locked the door to the building removed the rock. Remember, it was propped open. No, it wasn't propped open. No, it was a rock propped open. No, she was getting a package. No, she was bringing in things. No, she was doing a smoke break. No, she called 911 and then shut the door, and the door lock didn't work. That's the problem. The lock didn't work. Okay, so that lock didn't work, but these two doors locked obviously worked. Why weren't they closed? Why didn't the teachers lock these doors? Oh, what a disaster. We responded to the information that we had, and we had to adjust to whatever we faced. Well, that's true. Anytime you go to scene, you're always reevaluating, getting new information, adjusting your tactics, etc. But you don't stop making a mad rush and putting pressure and drawing fire and trying to kill that guy. You don't wait in a hallway for an hour. I just don't know how you justify this. Our objective, your objective doesn't matter. Results matter. Everybody can have great objectives. Your results sucked. To save as many lives we could. And the extraction of the students from the classrooms by over 500. We're heroes. Okay, so here's the new narrative. Uvalde police say 500 students. That'll be the new headline. Arradondo's explanations don't fully address all the questions. No shit. The Tribune spoke to 7 law enforcement experts about Arradondo's description of the police response. All but one said that serious lapse in judgment occurred. You think? You think? Most strikingly, he said, running into school with no key and no radio and failing to take charge. So, at first, he took charge and gave a stand-down order, and it was him. Now, he's saying he never took charge. It wasn't him. Okay. He did run into school with no key and radio. I think we can pretty much assume that. Even he says he didn't have a radio, and he says he had to break for someone to keys. So we do know that he ran in with no key or radio. Good job. Failing to take charge, the chief appeared to have contributed to the chaotic approach. Officers deployed inappropriate tactics, adopted a defensive posture. I agree. If you're talking to a guy through a door that's shooting kids, that is a defensive posture. That's a safe way to remain safe and not get shot. I mean, to me, if a guy's a shooter and cops are trying to claim hero status, not one cop was shot. I mean, we're hearing that 2 cops got grazing wounds. We didn't hear they went to the hospital. We didn't hear if it was fixed with a Band-Aid. We didn't hear if they cut themselves when they were running and slipped and fell into a nail, and that's how they got their grazing. We haven't heard any of that. No proof of the claims of heroism. 19 kids and 2 teachers with a claim to cowardly incompetence. You decide. Failed to coordinate, wasted precious time. Teachers remained trapped in 2 classrooms. Gunman continued to fire his rifle. Hyde, Arradondo's lawyer, we'll get some good truth out of this one, said those criticisms don't reflect the realities police face when they're under fire and trying to save lives. This guy should be like a PR guy. Uvalde is a small working-class city. Has nothing to do with the coward police and government failure that cost kids their lives. Nothing. Small working-class city of about 15,000. Its small band of school police officers doesn't have the staffing, here we go, money, more people, that will always fix. It's not the cowardice. It's not the incompetence. It's not that he didn't have a radio or a key. It's not that he didn't have any breaching tools. No. It's staffing, more people, equipment, more money, training, more money. And experience. Oh, that's another one. We gotta be able to, if we get more training, we'll get more experience. That's it. His client ran straight toward danger, armed with 29 years of law enforcement experience. Well, he should have been armed with a fucking radio and a key. How about that? That 29 years of experience ain't gonna get him a cup of coffee. Oh, I'm sorry. He gets some police protection now because he's in hiding. What a freaking joke. Are you kidding me? With no body armor and no second thoughts, the chief committed to stopping the shooter. Man, failed miserably, but he committed. Wow, 77 minutes. One of O'Donnell's most consequential decisions was immediate. Within seconds of arriving at the school, he left his police and campus radio outside. He had 2 radios. So we're hearing that we need more money for more radios throughout the state. So police, he had 2 radios. And he left them both outside. Again, just incompetence. When you hire people because of their color or their sex instead of for standards, you get incompetence. And then you can't fire them. Arredondo, the choice was logical. An armed killer was loose on campus. For every second mattered. Man, this sounds like a story made of a superhero. He wanted both hands free to hold his gun, ready to aim and fire quickly and accurately if he encountered the gunman. Man, that sounds like a great decision. I'll throw my radios away so I can't communicate with anybody, just in case I need my 2 hands on my gun. What the fuck? What kind of are you... Dude, I've told a crazy cop story where in my entire career, one cop threw his gun over a fence. He had just killed another guy. He didn't want to kill this guy. The guy came out and he fell to the ground and he didn't want to fight him with the gun in his hand, so he threw his own gun over the fence and fought the dude. And people were pissed at him for not shooting because this guy had just shot a cop and they wanted him to kill him. But anyway, I told that story. That's the only time I've heard of a guy throwing his equipment. This cop throws 2 radios outside the room so he can run in. Anybody believe that he intentionally did that? He left his damn radios because he was panicking. He didn't intentionally. He wasn't thinking, I'll leave these out here so I can have my 2 hands and fully in. Come on, people. At one point, they're saying it was really chaotic and he was doing the best he could. Now, when he's running in here, he's thinking so far in advance, if I contact the subject, I'll need both hands. I better be able to aim. Let me get rid of these radios. So one point he's thinking clear, another point he can't think. Okay, I got it. He said he didn't speak out sooner because he didn't want to compound the community's grief and cast blame on others. Yeah, okay, sure. Whatever. You were trying to get your damn story straight. You were being advised by a lawyer. You went into hiding and you freaking got police protection. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. He did it in his hero status. He wanted to help the community. Man, this guy's really great. He should be like a politician. Oh, he was just elected to city council. He is a politician. Perfect. Thinking he was the first officer to arrive. Thinking? How could you think that? They said 6 officers were there before he ever even got there. 3 minutes later. Not wanting to waste time, Arredondo believed that carrying the radios would slow him down. The only thing that slowed him down was his trips to the motherfucking local Dairy Queen and donut shop. That's what slowed him down. 2 radios did not slow him down. Are you kidding me? One had a whip-like antenna that would hit him as he ran. Oh, my God. God forbid the police chief get hit with an antenna. Kids are getting shot. He wanted to kill him. He didn't even have a vest. He was going to risk his life, but he wasn't going to get hit with no damn whip antenna from no stupid radio that could communicate. What the hell? Are you kidding me? The other had a clip, and Arredondo knew that would cause it to fall off on attack. Oh, so I know if I lose something, I might lose something in a tactical situation. I'll just throw all my gear away so it won't fall off. What kind of idiot is this guy? Jesus Christ. Arredondo said he knew from experience that radios did not work in some school. Oh, my God. This guy's got more excuses than chins in a Chinese phone book. Are you kidding me? What the? But the decision also meant that the rest of the ordeal, he was not in radio contact with the scores of officers from at least 5 agencies that swarmed the scene. Well, just because you don't have a radio don't mean you don't have communication. First of all, you can tell another officer, let me use your radio. Second of all, you got a cell phone.
Third of all, you can tell one of the officers to relay and they can relay information. You don't have to have a radio with a whip antenna that's hitting you and hurting you in order to communicate. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Somebody will be mad. I used the name. Cheese and rice. All right. Almost immediately, Arredondo teamed up with Uvalde police officer. Almost immediately. We don't know how long, but almost immediately. Pretty fast. Really fast. And began checking classrooms and looking for gunmen. Wrong. Wrong. He should be going to the shooting. The guy was shooting. If he was there, he's supposed to move to the shooting. Why are you checking classroom? He's a freaking idiot. He can't even get a prepared statement and cover up his incompetence. As they moved to the west side of the campus, a teacher pointed them to the wing where the gunman entered. As Arredondo and police officers ran toward it, they heard great deal of rounds. Well, maybe they should have been running their rounds instead of waiting for a teacher to point the way. Maybe that's why. Arredondo believes it was the moment that the gunman first entered the adjoining classroom 111. Well, who cares what he believes? He believes he was a freaking hero. How the shooter entered the school. Okay, Arredondo. Officer entered the building. South side saw another officer. Arredondo checked to see the door was on the right. Room 1111. Another officer tried room 112. So they tried to open the door. Perfect. Did they try to kick it? I want to see the door. Are there dents in the door? Or did they run when the shooter fired at the door? And then they took a defensive posture and waited for SWAT. Look, when you call for SWAT, normally you just hold where you're at. Everything freezes. SWAT's on the way. Let them handle it. The way he's describing it, oh, no. We never stopped. We still tried a bunch of keys and tried everything to get in. Nobody could get a breaching tool. Nobody could kick a door. I mean, there had to be. He's a pretty big dude. I mean, I would really be surprised. But, I mean, look, if I got a gun and I can't get in a door and kids are getting killed, I'm shooting the door. Rick, you can't shoot a door. What happens if it ricochets? Well, I'll deal with that later. I have to do something. I'm not going to stand in a freaking hallway and say, I was thinking and I wanted and my intentions and I wished, and I'm not going to say that. I'm going to continue to do something to advance my mission. My mission is to get in there, stop the killing, and kill that piece of shit before he kills kid. I'm not stopping until that mission is complete. That's what you do. That's what you're trained to do. That's what you should do. That's what most men do. If his kid was in there, I wonder if it would have been different. If the cops were responding to officers being shot, I wonder if it would have been different. Okay, inside the class, some of the bullets pierced the classroom door. Okay, Arredondo, gunman fired bursts and shots through the classroom. Good, then I would shoot back. But Rick, you don't know if the kids. I'm pretty sure if a gunman is there shooting, most people are on the ground. Okay? There's nowhere to run. There's no kids run out the door. There's no kids run out the window. My guess is they're on the ground. If the gunman's shooting, then I'm shooting at high level through the door. Rick, you can't shoot without knowing the background. Look, normally you don't. In this situation, something is better. A bad decision is better than no decision. Okay? Freezing and doing nothing is rarely, ever, always a bad decision. Okay? You don't freeze and do nothing. Not when lives are getting taken and being killed. Obviously, someone will come here. Rick, there's other time. You know, everybody's got to think about how can I jack Rick up and show that he's wrong. Okay, the officers on the north end of the hallway retreated. Great, after being shot. Yeah, because they're pussies. But they were seriously injured. But they weren't seriously injured. Okay, yeah. I haven't heard of any cop going to the hospital. Returned shortly after and tried to contain. How did they do that? What do you mean they returned shortly? How did they try to contain? You couldn't get in the door. How the hell are you trying to contain him? Well, we're staying outside, Rick. We're in the hallway, so therefore he can't come out. Oh, good job. You kept him from coming out, and you kept him in there with kids that he could shoot that were unarmed. Perfect. Because the gunman was already inside a locked classroom, some of the measures meant to protect teachers and students in a mass shooting worked against police. Wow, nobody could have foreseen that. Nobody could have predicted that. All the training, all the government money. The school has their own police force that their only job is to protect the kids. And nobody thought, hey, what happens if the gunman gets in the door and locks it? How do we get in? Freaking, are you kidding me? Described the classroom doors reinforced with a hefty steel jam. designed to keep an attacker outside. Yeah, if it's locked, it'll keep him outside. If the incompetent government teachers are out there doing smoke breaks and leaving all the doors open, it doesn't freaking keep the gunman out. But with the gunman inside the room, that took away officers' ability to immediately kick in the door. Really? Arredondo believes the situation has changed from that of an active shooter to a gun. See? It says he believed it. Earlier he said he never declared it, but it says he believed it. If he believed it, he said it. He articulated it. He told the guys. He called for SWAT. His actions showed that he was taking actions that we were to stand down and wait. All right, he's getting more to my full of shit. I was going to try to cut him some slack. Classroom with potential other victims. I can't cut him some slack if he's a freaking idiot. Department of Public Safety and News reported that shooter fired his gun at least 2 times at police waiting in the hallway. Yeah. Okay. Big deal. DPS officials said dispatchers were relaying information. 911 children were inside, begging for help. Yeah, and the cops were in the hallway. Arredondo said he was not aware of the 911 calls because I didn't want my whip antenna hurting me when I ran. Not that I ran that fast, but the whip antenna hurt. Because he did all not to have his radio, no one in the hallway relayed that information to him. Really? You got a bunch of cops getting information, there's kids in there, and nobody yells out, "Hey, kids are calling from inside, we need to get in." Nobody said that? All 19 officers are cowards. I'm sorry. I mean, look, you can say they're either incompetent, it was confusing, they didn't know, it was a delicate situation. It's bullshit. Nobody had the balls to act and say we're going in. Arredondo and the other officers in the hallway took great pains to remain quiet. Oh, you freaking cowards. You want to remain quiet while the kids are getting shot? How valiant, how brave of you guys. Arredondo said they had no radio communications. So all 19 officers left their radio, or just your dumb ass? Bullshit. Even if I had a radio, here we go, even if I had his radio, his lawyer said, they would have turned them off in a hallway to avoid giving away their location. Are you kidding me? They're talking to the shooter through the door. We've got reports. They saying, "Hey, come out. We don't want to hurt you." And now they're turning off their radios so he doesn't know they're there? Come on, people. You guys are freaking... Who is buying this story? And I'm not saying they're faking it in order to get kids killed. I'm saying they are incompetent, and government will always be incompetent, and human error will always fail, and you cannot control what government does. Only government can. And when you put your trust in government and depend on them, you basically might as well climb under a desk and let a shooter kill you. Because that's pretty much what you're doing, is admitting you're a sheep and anyone can kill you. Don't depend on government. Don't give up your guns, and don't let government tell you how they're going to protect you, because they fail every time. Instead, they passed on information in whispers for fear of drawing another round of gunfire. Why not draw? I would have been banging on the door if he wanted to shoot. He's using up ammo at the door and at me rather than the kids. You freaking idiots are... How can nobody have any... I mean, I would have been a lot better if this guy threw his radio at the door to make the shooter shoot at the door. I would have been okay with that. I didn't have anything to throw at the door, so I took my radio off and threw it at the door because I knew he was shooting, and I wanted him to think I was knocking on the door, so I threw my radio at it and made him shoot and expend rounds. I would have been okay with that. These guys are in a hallway hiding, pissing their pants, being quiet, turning off their radios in order not to draw fire. What the are you kidding me? Finding no other way to enter a room, Arredondo called police dispatch from his cell phone. And so he did have communication. He was able to call, right? And ask SWAT. So he was able to talk. Was he whispering? I want to hear the 911 call. Was he whispering? From the SWAT, snipers and extraction tools, like a fire hook or open door. Man, he was smart. He was thinking. He was on the spot. Man, he's a good chief. We should make him city council. Arredondo remained in the hallway for the rest of the ordeal, waiting for a way to get into the room. Prepared to shoot the gunman if he tried to... Wow. Wow, what a hero statement. He was really on it. All right, so this looks like one of the better little drawings we got here, where he entered and came in, past the restroom, past this room, past this room, past this room. I wonder if those doors were locked. Walked down the hallway, past this room, and went in this room. I wonder if this doorway was locked. I wonder if there were... See, we don't know if there's kids in all these rooms and they all got out because their doors were locked? We don't know if there were kids in these and all their doors were locked. We don't know any of this. These are the questions that this crack investigation by the Texas Rangers and DPS that, according to this police chief, are full of shit and using him as a poor scapegoat. Arredondo assumed that some of the officers or officials had taken control of the larger response. He assumed. Yeah, that's a great job for a chief. Be assuming. Yeah, okay. He said he never considered himself the scene incident commander and did not give any instructions that the police should not attempt to breach the door. Really? Did you give instructions to breach it? Did you try to breach it? What did you do besides try a bunch of keys and throw your radio so the whip antenna wouldn't hit you? What exactly did you do? What an idiot. Arredondo made the call to stand down. Oh, wait a minute. Where to breach the building? DPS officials had described Arredondo made the incident commander and said Arredondo made the call to stand down and treat the incident. My guess is some of the cops said he was there with his 4 freaking stars. He was the chief. We all knew he was a chief. He told us that we chief, and he told him he called SWAT. Let's wait for SWAT. And now he doesn't want to take responsibility for that, but I'm assuming that's probably what happened. Okay, I didn't issue any orders. Well, you don't have to say this is an order. You can say, hey, SWAT's on the way. Let's stand down. Let's wait for him. That's an order. Okay? I called for assistance and asked for extraction tool to open the door. Wow, you're a hero. Officers in the hallway had few options. Yeah, of course they did. At some point, Arredondo tried to talk to the gunman through the walls in an effort to establish rapport. Really? You want to get rapport while he's in there shooting? And he's shooting through the doorway, and you left your radio because you didn't want to talk, because you didn't want him to know you were out there, and now you're talking to him through the door? What a complete... Man, you talk about a bullshit. If I was in an interview with this guy, I would be eating his ass up. Please, let me conduct an interview with this chief. The gunman did not respond. When the gunman's still firing sporadically, see, he's firing sporadically. He's fucking shooting unarmed kids, you idiot! Oh, this is pissed. Sorry, I said the F word. Sorry. Realized that the children and teachers in adjacent rooms remained in danger if the gunman started shooting through the walls. Oh, so they were thinking ahead there. The ammunition was penetrating the walls. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow. Penetrating the walls. But none of you cops could have shot a freaking door lock off. Really? Haven't y'all watched Starsky and Hutch, Adam 12? Haven't y'all ever watched TV to know that you can shoot a freaking door? And that shit works, people. Don't think I'm being funny here. A freaking gun, a bullet will take a lock, will shoot a tire out, will take a lock off a door. I mean, come on. We got him covered. We're unable to get to him. You realize you need to evacuate those class. Oh, he was taking command. He was telling people to evacuate, but he wasn't in charge. Lights in the classroom had been turned off. Another routine lockdown measure that worked against the police. Oh, so now the lights were off. That hurt the police. Man, it doesn't take much to hurt the police. Okay, people, you want to defeat the police when they come? Turn the lights off and get you a school door. Pretty much the police are helpless. Everyone, every criminal out there, every drug house, every drug dealer, illegal arms guy, every criminal out there, listen carefully. To defeat the police, turn the lights off and get you a door they use at schools and a classroom. Perfect. Just perfect. He wanted to avoid having students come down the hallway, while other officers outside the school evacuated children. Not him. Arredondo and the officers in the hallway held their position and waited for the tool. Wow, they waited. Waited with their guns out, ready to engage the shooter if he came out, ready for action, ready to risk their life, while the kids were getting shot and murdered inside. And they waited. Waited with purpose, with intention, but they waited. At one point, Uvalde police officer noticed Arredondo was not wearing body armor. Worried for the chief's safety. Oh, my God. The Uvalde offered to cover for Arredondo while he ran out of the building to get it. Oh, my God. So some suck-ass said, hey, Chief, you don't have a vest on, man. I want you to go get a vest. Probably, here's what really happened, people. The Uvalde officer wanted to get him out of the scene so he would stop freaking interfering and stop fucking up the scene, and said, hey, Chief, why don't you run and go get your vest since you don't have one? And then when they got rid of him, maybe they would have acted. Let's see how the chief handles this. I'll be very frank, he said. Fuck you. I'm not leaving this hallway. Well, That's pretty much saying I want to be in charge. I want to be the hero, even though I'm hiding outside, even though I didn't get shot, even though I didn't go in the room. But I did try some keys. How did you try keys when he was shooting through the door? But you were down the hallway. More confusion. See, this is what happens when you have lawyers releasing statements and you have news people doing interviews that don't know how to conduct an interview or ask questions. Without any way to get in a classroom, officers in a hallway waited desperately. Oh, it was desperate waiting. Secured entry. They were all heroes. This must be where Tatum's getting he had inside information. The cops weren't cowards. So this makes the cops not cowards, because nobody could come up with another way to get in the classroom. They just sit there. A 100-pound, 90-pound woman can get away from the cops, climb a fence, and go get her kids, but 19 officers armed with guns can't shoot a lock, can't shoot through a window, can't kick a door down, can't go through a wall. I don't know what kind of walls you got, whether they got brick walls, metal walls. I mean, if they've got sheetrock, nobody could kick through sheetrock. I mean, I just can't. I would love to go through that classroom and look at what it is. But, now they're saying no one's getting access. Not even teachers are getting access. No one's getting access before they tear it down. Man, I want to see a complete investigation, unsanitized. Pictures and all. You can give me all the warnings you want. I'm okay with it. I want to see this crime scene. Without otherwise advance their goal to saving lives. Yeah, all their goals saving. It was not someone said stand down. It was right now we can't get in until we get tools, so we're going to have to do what we can to save lives. Yeah, okay. This is a piece to redeem all police officers and make them all look like heroes. And they all meant well, and they all would have done more if they could have. But Rick, the lights were off and it was dark. And they had those mean doors that you couldn't do anything to. They were in even Superman couldn't get in the doors. They were metal. He couldn't see through them. Even the three little pigs that huffed and puffed couldn't blow it down, Rick. They were tough doors. Okay. Robb Elementary had modern system lakes. You're talking about a key ring that's got to weigh 10 pounds. Jesus Christ. This guy's throwing radios off because it's too heavy and is hitting him with a whip. Now he's complaining that the keys are too heavy. Nobody marks a key. Nobody thinks ahead. In all your school planning and all your other plannings of school hostage-taking situations, nobody's ever planned, hey, what happens if the door's locked? Nobody thought of that. What the hell did you do in your plan? I mean, it's not difficult, people. You got a school, you got locks, and you got children. Your job as a police chief is to protect the kids. When you do these practice drills, what the hell do you practice? You just practice throwing your radio out the door? Was that ever practiced or trained? Is that what the hell nobody thought of labeling a key or having a key to a door? No teacher, no school administrator, nobody can get in a freaking room. Are you kidding me? Eventually, a janitor provided. So an hour later, a janitor is what? Like hanging around sweeping floors? Is he like in the bathroom cleaning toilets? How did we find this janitor with the key? The magic keys were held by the janitor. Nobody found the janitor. Nobody could find the janitor until an hour and 17 minutes later. Suddenly, we find a janitor with all the keys that gets us in the rooms. Amazing! The janitor's a hero. Where was he at? Another key ring between 20 and 30. I was praying one of them was open. Eventually, the officers on the north side of the hallway called her on a cell phone and told him they had gotten the key that would open the door. Wow! The officers on the north side of the hallway formed a group of mixed law enforcement agencies, including Border Patrol, and entered the classroom. So we were told the crack U.S. Border Patrol, SWAT, Borac, Hackaracka, whatever the hell they call themselves, is the great team that entered and killed the guy. Now we're hearing that multiple agencies, which is what I thought. I just thought one dude on the Border Patrol said, fuck it, I'm going in, and other people followed him because they'll let him go in first. That's what I'm saying happened, but I have no proof or anything. I'm just trying to reach some sort of conclusion from all the bullshit we're getting. 10 days after shooting, New York Times reported Border Patrol agents ignored the directive spoken into their earpieces not to enter the room. Perfect. This is what I want to hear. I want to hear what happened. This is what needs to be get out. Did they ignore it? Are they the only men?
Because, see, if we let this out, then all the other 19 officers that waited look like pussies and incompetent cowards. So this is being suppressed. Hyde said the directive delaying entry, it did not come from Redondo, but the Times reported someone was issuing orders on the scene. Hyde said he did not know who that person was. Wow, nobody knows who's in charge. But nobody's in charge if it went bad. But when we find a key, and when I try to talk to the person, and when we rescue 500 kids, then I'm in charge. But when all the failures happen, nobody knows who's in charge. Perfect. The officers entered the classroom, and Donald held his position near the south doorway, so he didn't enter, in case the gunman tried to run. Yeah, he's Johnny on the spot if somebody runs away. Good job. What a freaking weasel. At last was brought down a harrowing standoff. It wasn't harrowing. It was harrowing for the kids that were left in there by the incompetent government and 19 cops in a hallway. They had a harrowing experience. You didn't. You got to stay outside and not get hurt and not get shot at. You got to stay outside and cry about your radio hitting you and whipping you, and you threw your radio and it's not your fault you didn't have communication. You got to try keys, but the guy was shooting through the doors and you had to run. You got to be quiet, but you were talking to the guy. What a freaking colossal bunch of freaking lies. Once the officers cleared the room, let's see, expert analysis. Oh, this should be good. A police intentionally ditching his radio while answering call. I've never heard of anything like that. No shit. A police tactics expert and former police chief. I'm with this dude. I've never heard of that shit either. This guy is on the cutting edge of new technology for law enforcement. He's going to start a new course on how to lighten your load when you're running into a hostage situation. The discarded radio, the missing keys, the apparent lack of the incident commander of some expert raised questions about the response. It's freaking ridiculous. This guy was an incompetent fool, shouldn't have been the chief, probably shouldn't be on the council now, and should take some responsibility. He's not. He's playing a hero. He tried everything. He had good intentions. He was willing to risk his life. He told an officer he wasn't going to leave to get his vest because he wanted to die to save the kids. And then when the team went in, he waited outside in case the guy ran away. Damn, Ardondo, somebody get that man a cape with a big S on it. All right. Officers are trained never to abandon their radios or primary communication tool during it. No shit. Nobody's ever taught to get rid of your radio. Arando did so the moment he arrived at the scene as inexplicable. No shit. Added, it's inconceivable Arlando's officers did not have a plan to access a room or building on campus, given the school district makes up in its entirety of a tiny. Yeah, I mean, think about it. This guy is the chief of the school police. Their entire job is to handle the school, and nobody has a key. Are you kidding me? The experts also included active shooter retired law enforcement personnel. In the moment, school found rooms 111. They said the moment afforded Arando a chance to step back, regroup, and work with the officers to devise a new strategy. Look, there isn't a new strategy. How the fuck do we get in there? Everybody get in this fucking room. I don't care how. We got to get in this fucking room. Anybody got any ideas? If not, everybody take turns kicking because we're busting this freaking door in. And if he shoots through the door, then he's using up ammo and just try to stay low. But we're going to keep kicking on that freaking door. I just can't believe it. Do they not have axes in schools? When I was in school, they always had an axe behind the glass window with a fire extinguisher. They don't have that anymore because we got sprinklers or some shit. I don't know. It takes having someone with the wherewithal to come up with a quick tactical plan. Yeah, you try something. You adapt. You overcome. You don't stop, give up, and wait. It may not be the best plan, but it's executed. Exactly. Shooting the locks off. I mean, come on. You can't shoot a door. Rick, if you shoot a door, it might ricochet, and an officer might get a little shrapnel in his eye, and that's officer safety. Oh, okay. So that's why they didn't shoot the door. They were afraid they might get hit with a ricochet. Perfect. Cowards. Nicholas, who teaches classes on active shooter, says he understands the instinct of command staff to not want to confront a gunman themselves. He understands the instinct for command staff to want to confront. Oh, to want to confront the gun. Really? I've never known command staff that wants to confront. They're freaking weasels. They're always worried about liability. They're worried about hot dogs. They're always worried about cops going in too quick. They're always looking for escaping weasels, so when they give their press release, they can say, I didn't tell them to do that. It wasn't my decision. But he said commanders must not let their focus roll
we have to, as leaders, especially as police chiefs, step back and allow our men and women. Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's some women there. I'm sure women would have ran rushing. Come on. Rick, there's a mom that went. Yeah, mom went in to save her kids. Moms don't go in to save other people's kids. There weren't a bunch of moms jumping through windows to save other people's kids. Mom goes in to save her kid. I get it. Women on a police force ain't risking their life to save anybody. Anybody. I guarantee it. Use training and experience, whatever they needed. Active shooter protocols developed 99 Columbine. Were a slow police response, delayed medical care. Yep, over an hour. People died. That could have saved several victims. Trained police to confront the shooter immediately. Yep, they didn't confront him. Without waiting for backup. Yep, they waited for backup. Without regard for their personal safety. Yep, they didn't get hurt. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got shot. Nobody even returned fire, from what I can tell. An active shooter training that Uvalde police attended in March stressed these tactics, warning the responder would likely be required to place themselves in harm's way. Cowards! Cowards! They got the training twice. Cowards. Rick, the doors were really strong, and it wasn't their fault, and you didn't have a radio. And training that police officers for more than decades mandates that when shots are fired on active shooter situations, officers needs to continue through whatever obstacles they face to get to the shooter, period. I would like to add, no ifs, and buts, or coconuts. You get to the damn shooter, period. If that means go through walls, go around, back, windows, adjoining, whatever you got to do. Exactly. You can't tell me this room was like a freaking safe house. I mean, I just don't get it. Drawing conclusions. Disregard. Arando should have retreated into the command role once other officers arrived. Since most active shooter events last mere minutes, he argued that no amount of ad hoc planning outside would have changed the outcome. You know what? I disagree. One person, one of the 19 people saying, I'll be back. I'm going to get a freaking Hulligan tool from the fire department, a big red truck. I always carried a sledgehammer in my freaking trunk for breaching doors. I don't care how strong this door is, a sledgehammer is going to knock that lock off if you hit it enough times. All right? I don't know any door lock that can take, an hour of hitting it with a sledgehammer and not open. But these guys stood in a hallway and waited. Nobody left. Nobody went to go get a tool. Nobody went to go get a car. Nobody went to go freaking hijack a freaking, I don't care what, no car. If a guy had a bulldozer in a parking lot, I'm breaking down this damn wall. Get off that bulldozer. I'm commandeering it. Something. I mean, give me a freaking break. You stand in the hallway for an hour and now you want everybody to believe that you're not cowards and you're highly trained, brave law enforcement officers. Are you freaking kidding me? All right. Questions over command. Let me go through this. The day after shooting, Abbott. Oh, yeah, of course, Abbott came out for law enforcement and said how great they were, amazing courage, blah, 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 whatever. Engaged the shooter. Yeah, that was a complete scam. But I believe Abbott was just repeating, like all guys that do press releases, repeating what they are told. So can they change it? Can they hide? Can they pick? Yeah, but I got to give him a little bit of pass because that's what he was kind of told, and he probably exaggerated a little bit in order to, support the law enforcement. The information did not ring true. Arando turned to DPS official, whom he later declined to identify, and asked why state officials have been giving inaccurate information. Ooh, so Arando asked him about that. Oh, and a stunning reversal at NewsCon, the DPS regional director in the area retracted McGraw's initial claim and said the gunman was not confronted. Oh, that's true. That did happen. At the third news conference following, Abbott said he was livid about being misled. Oh, livid. Everybody's livid. When government fails, everybody's shocked. Nobody can believe it. We're going to get to the bottom of it if we just have more money, more program. Abbott just announced he's got a new super czar of schools for Texas. So just this already, we have more government spending and more bureaucracy, and now a new head, a division of all schools in Texas for school safety in all Texas. Okay, I'm predicting right now, I'm not wishing it, I'm not encouraging it, I'm predicting right now there will be another school shooting, kids will die, and this new position will not prevent it. Anybody want to take that? I'll bet you $10,000. I'd probably bet $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I'll bet you $10,000 that another school shooting will happen, and this new guy, this new appointee, this new government program that Abbott, the fucking Republicans who are always talking about wasting fucking money, is going to expand government authority, create more bureaucracy, another entity of government to spend and waste more money, and there will be another school shooting. I said it first. Quote me all you want, but just put your money where your mouth is. If you think this is going to help, bet me 10,000. If they pass more laws, the 10,000 bet still goes. There will still be another shooting, and those laws will have nothing to do to prevent it and will not have prevented it in any way, shape, or form. Anybody want to take that bet? Of course not. McGraw told reporters who identified the position, rather name, barricaded suspect, rather than active shooter. When McGraw deemed a mistake at the news conference, McGraw referred to Redondo as the shooting incident commander. Okay, so look, it's not above me to say that DPS screwed this up and they were supposed to do something and now they're blaming this chief. That's not above my belief whatsoever. So I'm not defending DPS and I'm not defending this chief. They're all part of government. They're all lying, and none of them have the balls to just say the truth. We screwed up here. We screwed up here. They screwed up there. There was a lot of errors. It was government failure. We shouldn't have. No amount of new laws would have changed this. This guy was a criminal. He broke a lot of laws that day. No amount of laws would change that. Taking guns away from good people ain't going to help anybody. Nobody has the balls in the police department to get up and make that statement, even though that would be the most accurate and believable statement. The National Incident Command System, which guides the levels of government how to respond to mass shootings. First person on scene is incident commander until they relinquish it. All right. Once he became engaged, immediately involved, he was the best one to continue and resolve the incident. Maybe that's why the guy told him to go get his vest to get him out of there. Let's see. When no radio. I want to know if the Border Patrol ignored his order and went in. I wonder if he said, stop, don't go in. I wonder if he said, wait for SWAT, and Border Patrol said, fuck you. That's the conversation I want. Nicholas, former Seguin police chief, dismissed the idea that another officer would seamlessly adopt the incident role simply because Orondo never did. That's true. That's a good point. Most lower-ranking officers aren't going to say, hey, chief, are you fucking in charge? If not, get the fuck out of here. I wouldn't have a problem saying with that. But most cops aren't going to say that. Especially his own department. Other departments, I don't give a shit who the other chief is. Like I said, I told that story where we're fucking with the DA's office, that one investigator. I was there, he threw the sheriff out of the crime scene because he was messing on the crime scene. He had his panties in a knot. But he had no business being in there. Let's see. Which investigators Jamali told shooting? The agency's investigative unit, the Texas Rangers, those guys are good. They wrote tickets their whole life. Now they're top investigators for the state of Texas. Wanted to continue talking with police chief. He had not responded to their agency request. So he went into hiding. He didn't respond to them. He said he did respond. They said he didn't. Who's lying? Well, government's involved, so we just assume everybody's lying. Press conference. The Rangers never asked O'Donnell to come for an interview. Oh, okay, so they were lying. At no time did he communicate his unwillingness to cooperate. His phone was flooded with calls and messages from members he didn't recognize. Oh, so he didn't return phone calls. He didn't. See, this is a lawyer way of saying he didn't refuse to talk to him, but he got a lot of calls from people he didn't recognize. Oh, it's possible he missed a call. Oh, okay, that's it. That's it. This is lawyer talk. That's a fair thing to be asking. Okay, whatever. Jesus Christ. What a disaster. Okay. Damn, this went long. Almost an hour. Shit. This video went almost as long as the coward cop stood outside. He was out there putting a little wax on his head, polishing it so he looked good. And, hey, man, I'm the police chief. Where's your stars? I'm surprised you don't have stars sewn into his freaking dress shirts. Anyway, more craziness on this shooting and less answers, more questions. When are the people going to get the damn investigation that the crack Texas Rangers are doing? Where are the pictures? Where are the body cams? Where are the 911 calls? Where is the audio of the police radio traffic for that day. No, Rick, you don't need any of that. Just watch the news and we'll let you know what happens. Okay, we'll end that there.